Clifton Fasteners was founded in the late 30s to produce the bolts and rivets needed to build Spitfires. Company boss Steve Hardiman says the new tax year means this West Midlands firm faces a double whammy. Along with higher corporation tax, support for countless businesses with sky-high energy bills has also now ended. Steve says Business Secretary Kemi Badenoch needs to act.
If I could put out a plea, I'd ask for Kemi Badenoch to actually go and do her day job, which is supposed to be looking after industry. And we're just getting no support whatsoever. And we're just being hammered by every single additional cost. And it's a very, very poor business environment to be working in at the moment.
Prior to the war in Ukraine, Clevedon's energy bill was £5,000 a month. With no government support, that's now risen to £16,000 a month, which Steve says threatens his business. Clevedon pays 46 pence per kilowatt hour of electricity on a fixed contract Steve says he was forced to sign last year. Given that wholesale prices have now fallen to 28 pence per kilowatt hour, Steve says he's paying over the odds. Stephen Morley runs the Confederation of British Metal Forming, representing hundreds of manufacturers with tens of thousands of workers. He says the lack of support with energy bills could see countless factory closures here in Birmingham and beyond.
I think it could be an absolute disaster for manufacturing. So the supply chains are fragile anyway, and I worry about the impact across the whole manufacturing chain. It could be a complete disaster if we're losing key players in the supply chain, and our major manufacturers, car manufacturers, could lose key suppliers.
The Confederation of British Metal Forming has sent a letter to the Business Secretary seen by GB News. While calling for more government support, the letter claims that many UK companies now face uncompetitive energy costs, having been coerced to enter fixed contracts at the peak of the wholesale market last year. Conservative West Midlands Mayor Andy Street agrees some firms are now locked into contracts with what he calls artificially high prices. He says ministers should intervene.
I'd particularly ask the government to reconsider one critical aspect. There are those businesses that negotiated a new deal last autumn because they had to. They're timed out on their existing contract, and they tend to be fixed into higher prices than the market now has. That doesn't seem right to me, and I hope that we'll actually be able to force energy companies to renegotiate those deals, because there's businesses here that potentially will thrive or fail depending on that energy price going forward.
The government may yet act on this advice, because soaring energy bills could see firms fold and jobs lost across red wall seats vital to the next election. Liam Halligan, GB News, Birmingham.